You are different in so many ways. I wonder if you would tell me why you live as you do."
I told Dr. Kim that the pattern of my life was determined by the tenets of the church to which I belong, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I gave him a copy of the Articles of Faith by James E. Talmage. He read it through in a week's time and came to me saying, "This is the best book I have ever read on the gospel. Can you give me something else to read?" I then gave him a copy of the Book of Mormon. He read that through in approximately a week's time and came with such enthusiasm. He says, "This book is the word of the Lord."
Brother Wayman invited him to attend church services, which he did. Then, on the day Brother Wayman was leaving Cornell to accept a position in Hawaii, he met Dr. Kim in the hallway. Brother Wayman felt impelled to ask him if he knew why he had left Korea to come to America.
I felt impressed to tell him that I thought there was another reason that he came, that the Lord had moved upon him to come to America to get the gospel so that he could take it back to his people and enrich their lives much more. I never felt the Spirit stronger in my life than I did at that time. I felt as though I were standing 3 feet in the air. And I knew that what I had told him was the truth.
Oliver Wayman never saw Kim Ho-jik again, but he left New York certain that the Spirit had touched his friend. "I could see a change in his expression," he said. Kim Ho-jik's outlook had indeed changed, and he now studied the gospel with a new intensity.
He was so hungry and thirsted after the things we taught. When we taught the lessons that the Eastern States Mission was using, we would go back to try to review. And the second he recognized we were going back to review information, he would quickly raise his hands and say, "No, no, don't do that. I've already accepted that. Let's go on. Time is so short."
On July 29, 1951, in the Susquehanna River near Harmony, Pennsylvania, the first known Korean Latter-day Saint was baptized. As he came up out of the water, Brother Kim heard a voice. On the inside leaf of his scriptures, he recorded the words he heard: "Feed my sheep. Feed my sheep." Meanwhile, thousands of miles away, Brother Kim's homeland lay devastated by war. North Korea had invaded the South, reducing cities and industries to rubble. Thousands had died, and hungry refugees lived in makeshift huts. It was into this setting that Brother Kim returned home and undertook the Lord's errand to feed his sheep.
Brother Kim immediately began to share the gospel wherever he could. In both public and private life, he was a zealous missionary. He brought the gospel to quite a large number of young Korean students, and it wasn't long before a nucleus of converts and investigators could be gathered together on Sundays where he would teach them a Sunday school class.
Meanwhile, with a doctorate from Cornell, Brother Kim began rising in government and educational circles. He was named president of Hong-ik College, then appointed chief Korean representative to UNESCO. Shortly thereafter, he became chairman of the Seoul Board of Education, and finally, vice minister of education for the Republic of Korea, a cabinet-level position. He personally took a proposal before the government for the church's official recognition in Korea. Because of long-held misconceptions about the church, passage was considered impossible, but with Dr. Kim's endorsement, it passed. One member observed, it was almost a miracle. Dr. Kim put his reputation on the line again to gain permission for LDS missionaries to enter South Korea. After agreeing to be their financial sponsor and guaranteeing they would do no harm to the Korean people, the first 2 full-time missionaries were allowed entrance into Korea in April 1956.
And it's the first time I'd met him. And I thought to myself, what a giant of a man. Because here is an older Korean gentleman and a man of obvious prestige and position, surrounded by a bunch of young people, students, some of them in college, but mostly from high schools, there to greet the missionaries as we came in. And knowing this, the thing of status and face in Korea, I thought, this has to be a great man to be willing to put his reputation on the line for the church.
We used to mention to everybody that we possibly could that he was our district president, and everyone knew him, and didn't just know him, but they thought highly of him. He was well respected. It indeed lent a sense of respectability to the church that it didn't have at that time.
He was a strength to the missionaries. We never had a moment's fear because Dr. Kim was there, and he was there to take care of us. Food was scarce, times were hard, and he fed us often. You can't think about Korea in the early days, and the harshness of the life and the conditions under which people were living, without having a profound love and appreciation for this good man.
One Sunday in Seoul, Dr. Kim was teaching his weekly Sunday school class when an emissary from the president of the country, Syngman Rhee, came and told him that the president wanted to see him right away.
And I remember I was sitting in the front row. Two distinguished-looking gentlemen came in, and they were whispering and asking him to go with them.
Brother Kim graciously thanked him and said, "When I finish my class, I'll be happy to go with you."
And those two gentlemen were not happy at all, and they left. And so that very moment, I felt something in my heart. This great teacher, I think sharing the gospel is so important.
Brother Kim continued to labor with a sense of urgency for his country and for his church. Then, in August of 1959, a friend noted that he looked unusually tired. Less than a month later, he died of a stroke at age 54.
Nearly every university and college president in the country came to pay their respects, and almost without exception they remarked that Dr. Kim had invited them at one time or another out to church.
Dr. Kim Ho-jik was a member for only 8 years, but the impact he has on the church is immeasurable.
We have 16 stakes established. We have a temple of the Lord in Korea these days. We have Koreans who are nurturing and leading the church. It's one of the great miracles of church history.
Dr. Kim has never been forgotten by the Korean saints. There are second and third generation children in the church now who know of Kim Ho-jik, the first Korean elder. We could call him the founder of the church in Korea.
First thing that impresses you about Africa is its sheer size. I remember the first time I went there being so impressed by how big it was. It occupies about a fifth of the world's land surface. It's but 4 times the area of the United States.